you some other upcoming trends. So some of the key themes I talked about was social gaming was here to stay. It's kind of old news now, but think back a year and a half ago, people were like, social gaming, what is that? It was described as sort of rapid, viral, fast growth, the power of that fast distribution, as well as the retention and monetization of long-term engagement. We talked about how the old models of advertising only was not a good way to get attention from partners or entrepreneurs or investors or anything else. I kind of joke that, look, the ad-only model is a fast track to recycle bin, especially with the investors. How else can we make money? And we explored alternative business models. Freemium, free-to-play with microtransactions, virtual currencies, maybe even hybrid subscription models. Interesting, like a year later, these seem sort of old hat to everybody, but I think it's more big learning from last year. We were shifting towards very capital-efficient plays, and then arguably smaller sale outcomes. The cost to build a social game arguably is very, very cheap. But then the question is, how do you build a big business out of that? And could you build potentially $100 million, $200 million a year businesses out of that? I think Zynga and Play have proven you can get to these triple-digit outcomes. But the good news is, even for the 3-4-man shops, you could still have pretty interesting businesses that could cash flow quite nicely, as opposed to maybe capped models of advertising only or traditional paid downloads. So the growth areas we talked about: launch of app stores everywhere, the rise of Android, netbooks, and these mids. I think this was the term before iPad came out, and everybody just says pads. Social gaming, of course, virtual goods, microtransactions, the shift of business models to free-to-play, and the shift of gaming technologies towards the cloud. So that was the whole Gaikai type of cloud gaming thing. We also talked about this trend overall as games as a service. Since all these types of things we're talking about are server-driven, this is actually a good poster child for overall media as a service. So if there's games as a service, well, we're starting to see video and TV as a service with Hulu Plus, right? We've already seen music as a service. All the other areas, especially now with iPad and Kindle, you're seeing that affect other areas of media as well. Print, magazines, all becoming sort of a cloud service. User interface breakthroughs, especially with mobile, we're talking about augmented reality, alternative reality dashboards and overlay.